So tonight, I want to share a quick picture, and then we're gonna share. Lynette's gonna share a story, but I want to share one more story about traveling. And this was, I pulled this up. I was trying to find a better picture. You guys see a red truck? All right, so red truck. So when we were kids, now this is I think this is a Tundra. This is not even a Dodge Dakota. So my dad had a red, and it wasn't even a 4-door. They didn't have 4 doors back then. It was a red 2-door Dodge Dakota. It's the truck that I learned how to drive on. I think it was like a 1985 maybe, or 86, something like that. And my dad drove that thing, and it actually, I think it lasted 250, 300,000 miles. It's crazy. But I want to pay close attention to the back there. You see that cap on the back? So this was the method in which my sister and I traveled with my parents. There wasn't the seat in the back. They didn't have this second door here for like a second row of seats. And it's probably because of seeing too many kids being bounced around in the back of the pickup truck. And I'm not talking like to the neighborhood down the street. We drove to Pennsylvania 4 and 5 hours in the back of that. No seat belts. We had lawn chairs. We had like makeshift carpet. Like it was awesome. My sister and I loved it. It was like we were in limousines. They would hit by McDonald's. We'd eat all the garbage. We'd have all of the snacks. And I remember they had a window right between the back of it, an opening, and that opened up to the back. So like my parents could give us the snacks and give us the juice boxes and all of the garbage. Like it was all the junk food. And I remember just having a pile of junk food. They just give us, because it didn't matter. They could close it off. They could just let us bounce around in the back for 4.5 hours. It was all good. But it made me think of road trips and traveling. And one of the things that I didn't get to do, because we worked, my parents worked, and we didn't have resources. That was how much we traveled. So I don't know where you're at, how you traveled, or how much you travel, but I do know that whether you travel for work or you do this, one of the things, there's some old memories, right? Good memories, but maybe some of those memories you're actually trying to change because they're not serving you now. Maybe when you travel, it's kind of like you go into vacation mode and you go into like, okay, whatever I do from the moment I step into my car or step onto that plane, anything I want to do is fair game, and I'll just deal with it when I get back. Now, you can, if you think in terms of that, you can, if you reframe it in a way, and that's what we're going to help you with tonight. Lynette and I are going to help you. If you can reframe it, because if you know, as I know, weekends and holidays and traveling can be the difference between you getting results and not getting results. It can be, you can be amazing for 2-3 weeks or even 2 or 3 months and go away on a couple vacations, travel. Oh, I'm not going to check in. I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to go on this break and take a break and not think that it's going to have an effect, and it will. And you should enjoy yourself. But if you actually have some key strategies in place, and that's what I'm going to turn over to Lynette, and she's going to share with those. But I wanted to share with you the little red truck story, so to make it a little fun. So let's do this. Lynette, open up, and Lynette and I were going to tag team, but I'm going to turn the floor over to her. And if you guys are excited about like traveling and learning how to do this, and this could be related to not just travel, but I just want to share with you for tonight. I'm real excited for Lynette to share, and we'll pass it over. You want to share the story?
Sure. Let's awesome. Start with the story. So a week ago, Monday, I don't even know what it was. I started off on a trip from Sand Springs, Oklahoma, which is right outside of Tulsa, to North Carolina to visit my daughter and my granddaughter. And one of the perks of teaching. So it was a 1,110-mile trip. And I was going to break it up into 2 days, no problem. I have a cousin who lives in Evansville, Indiana, right now, the best town in the whole wide world, and we'll get to that. So we started off in my packed up Subaru, and all of a sudden I get to Rolla, Missouri, which is about 4.5 hours away. So I'm 4.5 hours in by myself, and horrible rainstorm, and every light in the dashboard comes on. Every light on the dashboard. And I'm like, okay. And then the car starts really driving like it's in the extreme mode that I'm driving on ice. So I pull into a Love's, and I pull into a Love's that has a diesel shop, and went in and walked up. It was quite a while. So I walked to the mechanics and told them my story. They came and unplugged my battery, and it was like a hard reset. Plugged it back in. I was good to go for about another 3.5 hours. I get to a town right outside of Evansville, and every light comes back on, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it. I'm just not going to make it. So I pull into an AutoZone, and they run a check because I'm thinking maybe it is my battery. Make a long story short, I finally get to my cousin's house way later than I was expecting. And I was the first customer that next Tuesday morning at Subaru. And I just pulled in like I had an appointment at 7:30 in the morning, and I get out and I went, hi, I don't have an appointment. I really need some help. Told them what was going on. And they diagnosed it as a sensor, came, got it, drove it back. The minute I got back to my cousin's, every light came back on, went back. I drove 600 miles with a bad transmission. It's a wonder. I was a nervous wreck. I was bad in tears. I'm texting my husband, who is sick in Long Island with COVID, and I'm there and I'm talking to Mark and everything else. And, I didn't plan for that to happen. I feel like a Subaru.
Yeah, hold on. Say that again. I planned, but I didn't plan for that to happen.
Yes, to happen.
Forget the travel. I planned, but I didn't plan for that to happen. How many times? Forget the travel. I planned, but I didn't plan for that to happen, right?
Exactly. Who knew? Who knew? So I said, well, what am I going to do? I need to get to my daughter. She is a single mom right now because her husband's not with her, and she's got to, supposed to come and help with a granddaughter. Subaru basically loaned me a loaner to drive from Evansville, Indiana to North Carolina and keep it for the duration of my trip for 2 weeks. And it was under warranty. So God bless me. I didn't have to pay for it. I got there safe. And then I planned for all of this to happen. And now I'm here. So,
Awesome. And now she's going to share how she's not just survived. It's so good because we planned this before she went. So we planned, Joanne is going to be doing one later in the month. And we planned a couple, like it was about a month ago, or about 3-4 weeks ago, said, here, you're going to be traveling. This will be great. Everybody's starting to travel into school, summertime, people are getting off from work, all that kind of stuff. Now we're able to travel more freely. So I thought, and people have been asking, hey, I'm traveling. What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? And Lynette sharing that story is not just about surviving, because you don't know what's going to come up. But she's going to share with you really if you want to tell the title, you're the 5, is it 5 or 6?
5.
5 what?
5 ways to lose weight while traveling.
Lose weight, not just survive. Like actually, if you want to keep losing weight, if you're trying, you want to share screen and we'll get things rolling?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it.
You
guys ready? I'm excited. This is going to be great.
Okay, so
just do a share screen and then click on your
there we go.
PowerPoint should be able to come on.
Got it.
Very good. Let's do it.
All right, so let's do the slideshow. Okay, so 5 ways to lose weight while traveling. And of course, there's my road to anywhere in the whole wide world that you want to go. And we're just going to kind of go here. So this kind of starts it out. See the moose? Nobody expects that. Behind theirs is a lot of traffic. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. And that's where your power is. And that is one of the things that kept me going, because who knew? All right, 5 ways. I'm going to keep moving this around. There we go. To stay fit and healthy while traveling, of course, I changed the title on you. First one is just plan. Second is be creative. 3, look ahead. Be consistent. And plan Z. And we'll talk about each one of these. So before all of this happened, I planned my food because road trips, I don't know if you're like me, but you are on a road trip and you're like, oh, the Golden Arches is, your friend because they've got a bathroom and they've got cheap, well, not cheap anymore, but cheaper food, and it's food that you can grab and go. Well, I know that I like their fries and I like a quarter pounder with cheese, and I did not want to go down that road. So I planned for everything, all of my favorite veggies. I even made myself some wraps. You can kind of see I got protein, plant-based tortillas, my spinach, my mustard. I rolled it up and I even put vegetables inside of there, and I had 3 or 4 of them. So I was ready to go. So I would have my crunch, I would have my protein. I had lots of water. I had probably 200 ounces of water ready to go in an ice cooler. So I was ready with food.
That looks like is one of those like beach things. You just put those ice packs in and that sort
Yep,
of thing. Is that what you
that's
have?
all it
That's
was.
great.
That's
That's
all it
such a
was.
great idea. We've done that
Um,
for road trips. That's great.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite things to do. I also knew that I would get tired of just plain old water, and I found this for 98 cents. Pineapple coconut. It was fizzy, made me feel like I was drinking something that was not healthy, but it was super healthy. 98 cents, Walmart. So that I wouldn't get in and go for Coca-Cola or my nemesis, Diet Dr. Pepper, because Diet Dr. Pepper with lime, yeah, did not want to go down that road.
Well, let me ask you this. Why didn't you want to go down that road?
Because I've worked too hard to be on the road that I am on right now. And I did not want to give myself an inch because I was afraid that it would allow that mile to come in.
Awesome.
So that was the first day. Well, I had no problem. The second day, I did not have all the food ready. So I stopped and I was looking for something healthier. So I went to the easy hard-boiled eggs and string cheese.
Awesome.
That was going to be my breakfast instead of having country fried chicken big breakfast.
Does that say big ass? Like big ass?
Big ass. It does.
Oh my gosh, of course.
So,
It's just big.
so here I am.
Me.
Yeah, literally.
Give me that big ass country fried chicken.
I want that big ass. And I'm going, no, the easy eggs are fine. Thank you. But I had to stop at a couple of different places to find the easy eggs because not everyone carries hard-boiled eggs.
Now that's for 2 eggs, right? So just, I think it says 169.
169 for 2 hard-boiled eggs that were already cracked.
Yeah, I mean, that's convenience, but if you do a travel, you can potentially make some hard-boiled eggs and put them, like if you're going to eat eggs and you eat eggs, like yeah. I'm not saying not saying you did, but you can. I mean, just look when you start to buy food out when you're traveling on the road. Right. The stuff can get really expensive too. Like you can end up, not to mention if you're driving, you're gonna be spending money on gas, but when you do buy stuff at these like convenience stores, you're paying for the convenience, right? Like
you
that's
are.
What it comes
and from. The pepper jack cheese, and whether you can see the price of that, yeah, 99 cents a piece.
So. I mean, you can get a pack of those at Publix for like $3.
Right.
A whole pack of $3-4, maybe $5.
So that's when I'm saying, be creative when it comes to, your food, but also be creative in just a lot of other ways. And the one thing that I had set my mindset was on was the non-negotiables for this entire trip. What was going to be my non-negotiable? Just some hard lines that I was not going to cross while I was going to travel.
So what was your non-negotiable? We want to know.
My non-negotiable was that if I did not work out, I would not even allow myself to have a dessert because I don't eat sweets to begin with. but I went to a book club and they had home baked raspberry chocolate chip cookies. Oh my goodness.
Goodness.
But if I had not worked out that morning, I would not have even touched it. So that was my non-negotiable, because
What, did you have one? Was it good?
oh my gosh, it was, yes, it was.
So, and what did you learn? Like, here's one thing, I don't want to pass this over because
Yeah,
it's
please.
not about perfection. This is progress. And, Lynette, as she's, one of our head coaches, she's been with me for over a year now. And the transition for a number of you, I don't want to pass over this because I think this is really valuable and can be really valuable. If you go to the store, and this picture is perfect, and you go and have it and you look at the cheese and you're like, yeah, that's what Mark and Lynette would, that would be great. I can say I had the easy eggs, the 2 hard boiled, but I went with the big ass country fried chicken, right? And I went there. So here's the best piece of advice I can give to you is if you do that, do it, enjoy it, and move on.
Mhm.
Don't beat yourself up about it.
Right.
Don't think that that's the end of the world, because one chicken sandwich is not going to ruin your progress. But if you allow that to get in your mind and you allow that to make your next decision, oh, well, screw it, I might as well just have another fried chicken sandwich, and I might as well have a Snickers bar, and I might as well have that. Then it's going back to the compromise. And reason why I say it is because Lynette mentioned those non-negotiables. She set that up beforehand.
Right.
And she made it as like sort of reward based, which is great. I think that was actually a great idea for you to do. And you enjoyed it. Did you feel guilty when you had the cookie?
Oh, no, I did not.
You enjoyed it. Yeah.
I did.
Awesome.
And I had
That's
one.
a really good win.
And I walked away.
And that takes time. For those of you guys that are new, it does take time, especially if you're used to beating yourself up over making a mistake. Like, you're allowed to make mistakes here. I just don't want you to keep making the same ones over and over again, because then you don't learn from them and you don't grow and you don't get results.
Right.
Lynette, and I know for some of our top students and those of you even that are just getting started, you're learning from your mistakes, learning from, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could enjoy a meal out and enjoy a cookie with raspberries. Sounds really amazing. And to do that without the guilt, without the emotional, without the stress, without the cortisol jacking up in your system and messing with your belly fat, all that kind of stuff, right? So good stuff. Let's keep going. I just wanted to kind of pause on that.
No, I'm glad you did. In fact, my daughter and I had a conversation about using calories, thinking of calories as currency. And am I willing to give up those calories? Just like, am I willing to spend that money on something for this versus this? And that's been a really interesting mindset that she and I have had for this trip.
That's awesome. Calories is currency, right? It's like you're either making deposits or withdrawals, deposits or withdrawals, right?
And how much do I really want that?
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. You guys digging this? This is great so far.
So this was my lunch. This is the lunch meat that I had already had left over. And I love, for those of you who have heard me at all, I love my colorful carrots. Each one of them tastes different. And so this was my my lunch on the go for that second day in the mountains. So it was quite tasty.
Awesome.
Look ahead and be as prepared as you possibly can. I knew we were going to go out to eat. So what I try to do is find out a lot of information about the restaurants beforehand. So I ask a lot of questions. And I try to get online and look at the menu before we go, if possible. And I know what I'm going to order before we get there. And if not, then, look at it. And I just know what I am going to allow myself, again, thinking of it as currency, what I'm going to allow myself and what I'm not going to. Megan and I end up splitting things, and I don't mind going a little bit over on maybe something that I would not get if I was eating the whole thing if I'm splitting it.
I know what's great about you making that decision. What I think is really awesome is that it's one less decision you have to make.
Right.
Like, you do it ahead of time, and it's something there's no stress. If you've already made your decision, you get to the restaurant, you don't even need to see the menu. Well, you can, just to pretend, Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna have. Yes, I do. I know, because I already picked it out, right? That's
Right.
it allows you to have the choice now to think about something else, to enjoy the time that you have rather than worrying about when they bring the bread out if you're going to have that or not, or the salad that you know has all that dressing on it, but you know you're going to ask for them on the side, or if
Right.
it's a piece of fish, you know, or some shrimp, you're going to choose the grilled shrimp because you know the fried shrimp tastes really good, and unless it was like your anniversary or birthday or something, it's not worth having that, you know. And then if it is, you're gonna, oh well, Mark said have it, enjoy it, and move on, but you can't
Right.
have it all the time because then
Right.
it's not really going to be a treat. So awesome.
Right. And also just the different activities. Megan and I actually did go see the new Jurassic movie, and we actually discussed whether we were going to go and eat the popcorn and do the entire experience, or we were going to have lunch before we left on something that we really liked.
Mhm.
And we chose to eat before we left. And then when we walked in, we went, oh, good decision, because we didn't want to wait in the line. We didn't want to spend the money, and we could just go on in and enjoy the movie and not even think about it.
Awesome.
So be consistent. And again, this is something that was one of my non-negotiables. I knew that I wanted to work out. I knew I wanted to continue eating healthy and being consistent. I do better if I tell people. So Megan already knew, my husband already knew, everyone who knows me, just I'm an open book. It's like, please don't tempt me. Because I'm going to be consistent on what I do, and this is what I'm going to be doing. So we've been setting alarms, we've been going and working out, which we'll get to in a minute. I let her work out. For those of you who don't know, she is in the Army, so she has to, and she has a 6-month-old as of yesterday, a 6-month-old baby,
Wow, that's awesome.
which is easier for her to go and get her workouts in because we're trading off. So
Right.
just kind of some good
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, and you just mentioned about making that like consistent and scheduling and all that stuff. You guys have, this is the program. Why we're so adamant about you making your goals on Monday, it's to own up the goals that you're going to achieve at the end through the week. If you don't put them in on Monday and don't check in on Wednesday and don't celebrate them, even if you don't achieve them, you got to face the fire. If you don't show up for your accountability group, that's fine, but then nobody's holding you accountable. If you don't
Right.
check in on a weekly basis, nobody's going to know whether you're on track or not on track, right?
Right.
Like that's part of this. It's not holding your hand, it's actually holding you to your commitment to yourself. That's really what it comes down to. That's where the results are going to come, being committed. This is great. I love it. Look at this. I'm excited for this part.
So yeah, Anytime Fitness, there are actually two. I'm getting to know the owners. It's really pretty awesome. I'm getting to know the group. So I can go to Anytime Fitness there, which is wonderful. And then my daughter also has a small gym in her garage when it's not too hot. But again, I plan for my exercises. Whenever I've told Mark that I'm a big list maker. So whenever I'm listing everything I'm going to pack, I always put in my workout clothes. Always put in my workout clothes. And my key fob for Anytime Fitness, plan for my exercise, locate a gym in the area, or use the hotel gym or pool. Find a park or sidewalk area to walk. Use the stairs instead of the elevator, especially if you're carrying bags. There's your workout right there. Dance, jog, run, walk, anything you do. And I've got a funny story. Since I had hip surgery, I needed to get out and walk more rather than just driving long periods of time. Well, I was that person that instead of doing wall sits, I found a tree and I was doing tree sits. I was doing air cat cows, just kind of walking down, put in my earbuds. I was doing grapevine walks. I was dancing down the walkway. It's my thing. I also have this contraption, and you can see it, I can put it around my neck and I can put my phone in it and I can walk and talk. And I parked way far away and I got my steps in and got some exercise while I was stopping for gas.
Let me
Um,
ask you this, Lynette, with the Anytime, it's probably like Planet Fitness and LA Fitness. And again, what I love, and a lot of times you do workouts at home because you have a gym. So, and I
right.
know most of you guys are doing workouts at home, but what's great about most of these gyms, again, they do day passes. So they're usually 10, $15. But again, like you're like, oh, it's 10, $15. Yeah. Like the value your workout to go use a gym or to get away from your family or to have some space or just to like, hey, to that's one of the things I actually enjoy doing as well is to go when I go to a place to when I was in Nashville, we went, well, all the guys were there, but we just paid for the week. It was like $50 for the whole week, but we were going there every single morning to work out. It was well worth it. And it was because I paid for it, you know? So if you don't have Anytime Fitness, which I think you have an Anytime Fitness, is that right?
Yeah, I do, and I can go anywhere that they have one anywhere in the world. But
That's
whenever
huge.
I went to visit my daughter 3 years ago in Hawaii, they didn't have an Anytime Fitness, and I walked into the gym and I said, "I'm here for 21 days. What kind of deal can you make me?" And they went,
Yeah.
"Really? Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, when you're doing the gym, I love that you said hotel gym. I made the mistake in Clearwater last month and I went, it was kind of last minute. And I thought I was going to go to the gym. I ended up doing the walking out on that walkway, which is great.
okay,
But that was my power. Like that was what I did. And I did it twice, but the gym was terrible.
yeah."
And for that, it was like stinky. It was bad, but I didn't do my diligence about looking at a gym in that place because I really did want to work out. A lot of gyms, just be careful, just look at them, make sure if you do want to work out, at least even if you're with your family, at least you can get into the hotel gym and get away from them to do your workouts quick and then be done.
Right.
And early, I don't know, did you guys do your workouts early or you had flexibility because you're off from work right now?
Well, usually, she's going in like at 4:45 in the morning. I'm taking care of Sadie Rose, taking her to daycare, and then I go straight to the gym. So I'm there about 7:30.
That in the morning. Yeah. So like travel wise, vacation, even if you work, just get up an hour earlier and go get your workout done.
And then it's done.
It's
And then
vacation. If you're with your family, they're not going to want to stop in the middle of the day. Or like if you're at Disney and you're going to come back, you're not going to work out. Or you're
Yeah.
going to have a long, strenuous day. You're not going to work out at night. Don't fool yourself. Get it done before anything starts. Even if you go on vacation and you're going to be active, when we went this was a long time ago. And I remember when we hadn't been on a ski mountain for years, this was before COVID. And I remember going down to the gym hotel just to foam roll and stretch. And that saved me that week because I did it every day before we went out on the slopes. And it was great. Before you hike, before you're doing any active, do a light workout, do some stretching, flexibility, and get it done early. This is great. Keep going.
And it sets the mood. I mean, it sets the tone for your day. You just feel better. I mean, you
Absolutely.
do. It's in my
Absolutely.
space. Apps. We have our app through this program. You know, you always have your app with you. You know, you have your hands just
Yeah, us.
registering. You have, you've got that. I also have the Peloton app. You have all kinds of other apps that you can get. And the bottom line is just move. Just move. My hashtag, keep moving.
It's the key to everything. Just keep moving.
Okay, plan Z. If something can go wrong, it probably will. Take control of situations, but don't let situations control you. And again, that goes back to planning, consistency. It all ties together. Don't give up. Enjoy your travel, but do it on your terms. But enjoy your travel and keep moving.
Yeah, awesome.
So,
Awesome. And you want to enjoy it, right? Like,
yeah.
here we go. There we go. Look at this one. This is great.
Very last one, grace and humility. Finally, if and when you fall off track, because you will, don't get discouraged. Have a plan. Follow it until you don't or you can't, to the best of your ability. Traveling vacation is meant to be enjoyed. Best laid plans are just that. They're plans. Get up the next day and have a plan.
Awesome. This is awesome.
So
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you so much. Hey guys, drop that down below. Well done, Lynette. This is great. Great stuff. And now I had a little something I want to give to you guys, practically speaking. And this is for those of you, because I know we have mentioned earlier, that was great, Lynette. So awesome. Really helpful. And again, it's just real. Like, I think all of you guys can relate to some of that. Maybe you're not doing it. Maybe you took one thing and can run out of the room. And that's all you need is you start to stack those little bit of wins, those little bit of choices each time and maybe you don't have a trip planned right now, but you could do it in your weekends. You could even think about what she just shared for your weekends, is to go through your weekends and have a plan and look at that. And if you're, say, driving to maybe a family member's house, and even if it's a day trip, to have even if it's just a mini trip versus a 2 week or a week or a couple of days. But I want to share something I'm going to give to you guys practical. Let me just see if I can pull this up here. There's a truck again, but I think I have it here. Let me make sure. Let's see, there. Oh, there we go. All right. So I had this, and I have to thank my team because I put it together and then I asked to put it into this nice little checklist for you. And it's interesting because I saw Lynette's slideshow, but I also was just wanted to give you guys something practical. And this is a Stay Fit on Vacation checklist that literally we're going to put it in, we'll drop it down in the Facebook group, and you'll have access to that. I would highly recommend printing it off and then taking it. And I'm just going to run through these quick. And then if you guys have any like, hey, well, this happens when I go on vacation, and what do you suggest for this? We're going to open it up since we have some time tonight and we can answer some questions for you guys. But real quick for this, and then there's just a handful. It's just a single page. You can literally print this out. You can make copies. Each time you get ready for travel, you can pull out one of these. You can even, make a couple copies. How am I going to stay fit on vacation? Here's my checklist. And you can literally check it off. What did Lynette show you? Stocked up on healthy portable snacks, keeping heart healthy, nuts, protein bars. And I gave a few extra suggestions. What are the things I use? Protein. I like the pre-mixed protein shakes. Some of those work good. Protein bars. Like if you have, even if it's like a little chocolatey protein bar, like if it's one of these, and I still didn't share, I don't have my, let's see if I can do this. So like, if you see my Kind bar there. So this has a little almond butter and dark chocolate. Like I'd rather eat this. Yes, it has some calories, has some protein, than to go after something that's way worse. Doesn't have protein, a lot of sugar. And again, they're just ready-made protein shakes, fresh fruit in your backpack's going to help prevent you from caving into unhealthy options. Like when you eliminate the need for options because you already have something in front of you, you're not going to take the effort. You're going to say, oh, well, I have this, I'll eat this. That'll be helpful. Make your own meals. When booking your vacation, look for a room that has maybe even a small, this is something we didn't talk about since Lynette is staying with family. But if you go travel, there's also lots of places. VRBOs are good examples. You can get places that have small kitchens. I know Holiday Inn Express, that was one of the things I liked about where I stayed, although it was a really terrible gym. It was a Holiday Inn Express, and they had a small kitchenette was great. I was able to put stuff in there. Honestly, I only went out because most of my food for the event was paid for, but the day I got there, I went out and I went to Mellow Mushroom. I don't know if you know what Mellow Mushroom is. This is an amazing like pizza place, but I had a salad, and that was actually the first time I had a salad while I was there. And it was incredible. It was, I forget what it's called, a Cobb salad or something. And it was really, really good. It was actually huge. It was delicious. But I mean, saving money, having a kitchen or kitchenette, and versus buying the $2 for 2 eggs type of thing, make better choices, nutritious. Here's what's great about this. If you have a plan, it doesn't mean you can't, like, I'm going on vacation, I want to enjoy. Yeah, do that. Go enjoy. Schedule in. Hey, this night we're going to go out. We're going to have fun, and I'm going to have dessert, and I'm going to have a meal. And you won't even worry about it because you put it in as part of your plan. Right? That's a good thing. Monitor. So I'm going to go over a couple other things here, and then you guys will have this. And if you want to drop any questions, you can ask. Monitor your alcohol consumption. I can just tell you, I know I've mentioned this before, and I'm not against alcohol by no means, but I'm going to just let you know, I stopped. Like I drank before the new year, maybe like on date night and once over the weekend. So maybe 2 to 4 drinks, maybe two beers or a glass of wine or 2. I always know I usually made some choices that weren't as favorable for my diet as well. So part of the new year, I'm not saying you got to give it up, but I can tell you that's definitely one of the things that has gotten my body in better shape, is actually removing that altogether, because it's just completely wasted calories. It does nothing for your nutrition at all. So just keep that in mind. Vacation wise, of course, a great margarita on a hot summer day, but do keep in mind that they are packed with sugar and hidden calories. And again, not saying to not have fun, just don't overdo it. The really cool thing I've learned too, and a lot of my students, a lot of you guys and other students before you had mentioned, if you like to have that little kind of like edge, get the margarita when you don't have it that often, you don't need as many to get that little buzz. Like that's the thing. I'm like a little schoolgirl now. If I had one margarita now, I'd be like, I'd be on my feet. Like it's crazy. So just keep that in mind. Monitor your alcohol consumption. Next is, again, non-negotiables. So Lynette mentioned her non-negotiables, right? And I would say make sure you make time. We talked about early morning. You don't have to stick to your regular workout routine, but being active. Now, if you go away for a week or two, I'm expecting you to stick to your workout routine because most of you are able to do that wherever you go. You can travel with it. You can take it with you. You can get a gym membership. But just to say you don't, just be active. It's like, hey, I'm going to go hiking this whole weekend or all next week. We're going to hike and bike and do all that stuff. That's what I prefer to do on vacations. We're going to do that in Colorado. And in a couple of weeks, we have a plan. We're going to be doing some big hikes. That's what we've been looking forward to. So we're making it around the active parts of the things we want to do. And that's going to help us when we do want to enjoy a night out and enjoy a meal together. Not going to worry about it because we burn way more calories than we even thought. Again, 20 minutes a day, minimal, incorporate activities in your vacation. Like I said, brisk hike, run on the beach, that sort of stuff, long walk, all those type of things. So think about this as you start, maybe you're not even doing that now at home. As you start to get in better shape, these become easier. Your non-negotiables become easier because they already are part of your lifestyle and your habits. Like I know, and this is not bragging, I know I have not gone 1 week not doing any exercise at all in probably 20 years because it's so part of my life that it's been. Now, mind you, I've been overweight. I put weight on 30 pounds at the end of the year, right? Like I've struggled, but I can tell you that exercise is never not going to be, God willing, he gives me an ability to move. I'm going to keep moving because the return on my investment is so favorable. It's not even about an addiction. It's like, I don't want to sit around for a week. It's just not even attractive to me or fun. Like for me, fun is looking at my wife's trying to get me to do some crazy ledge in Telluride. And I'm afraid of heights kind of. And I'm like looking and it's literally got to like strap in and go around this cliff. And I'm no way am I going, I'll go over there. We'll do 5 other mountains, but I'm not doing that one. But it's just pretty cool to be able to do that. So again, next thing here, aside from the non-negotiables, explores the city on foot or bike, ditch the taxi cabs. Oh, this right here. If there's one new thing to share with you guys, as far as what's going to be the downfall of our world, it's all of these e-bikes and golf carts and all that stuff. I even see we're in a beach neighborhood now. When I was here, again, I feel old school. When I was here and my kids grew up, they got on bikes, they got on skateboards. Now what we're seeing is all these young kids that are in pretty good shape. They're all getting on these e-bikes and they're not riding bikes. I see adults drive. They're not going to work because it's cheaper than a car. They're riding around the neighborhood and they're not pedaling. You're not moving. You're holding on and pushing the little or the handle for the electric bike. That now, if you want to go far and see lots of sights and you're doing that for a day, cool. But if you're trying to get an exercise, do yourself a favor and tell your family, hey, it's probably fun to have a golf cart and drive around. But if you're doing that more than you are moving yourself, then if you're sitting all day and getting in a golf cart and driving around, chances are you're not going to be in good shape. Just keep that in mind. So that's a little bit of a side rant, sorry, but I have been seeing that a lot lately, and it's definitely discouraging to see people that are not exercising and just riding around on these e-bikes. Walk through the city, more sights, burn. One of the things we love, it's in Chicago. I know New York and some of the major cities, they have the city bikes. They're fantastic. They're cheap. They're usually maybe 10 to 15 bucks for the day. And one of the things I can tell you is, let me see here. One of the things I can tell you is there's so much fun. So you go to a new area, you don't have to bring a bike. If you travel, New York is one of our favorites. We got on, and when we've been in New York, we haven't been in New York since COVID, but we're going to go back soon because we met there. but we got these city bikes, and it's like, I think maybe a little bit more, $10 to $15 for the day. And what you do is you have access for like, it's like a 30-minute window, but what's really fun, it's kind of like a game. You have a 30-minute window, you have an app on your phone, it shows you where you can park your bike, and it gives you how many spots are open. But the problem is, if there's no spots open, you can't park your bike, and you have to park it in 30 minutes or you get charged. So we would ride and say, hey, let's go over here and park our bike. And then you could literally park it like for a minute or 3 minutes, and you can get another bike and go to another location and ride around. And we do that all day. And it's so much fun. So you can ride around the neighborhoods. And I mean, New York City is as crazy as traffic and stuff. It's actually a very bikeable city, which is really, really fun. So anyway, here, remember a couple of last ones and then we'll finish it up. Remember to drink more water, of course. If you're going to move more and be on vacation, and yeah, there you go. Drink up, everybody. Cheers. Drink more water. Like if this is something that is beating you every time we come on and talk about drinking more water, do yourself a favor and drink more water. If you are more active and you're working out now more than ever before, you even need more water. So if you're just drinking your, half of your body weight in ounces, but you're really now more active, 10,000 steps a day. Oh, I didn't have my watch on after, but my goal is 10,000 steps before 8 a.m. I'm just leveling up my challenge. Did that happen overnight? No, it's happened from doing the 75 hard and then moving into my own challenge and doing 10,000 steps. And then I said, well, I'm doing 45 minutes, and that's about maybe 6,000 steps for me, or anywhere from 5 to 7. And I'm like, well, why don't I just try to get it all in the morning and be done at least with my main steps? And I made a commitment to myself, and I'm making that. So drink more water. If you're walking more, moving more, get a good night's sleep. Obviously, that's going to be very valuable, especially with traveling. Does this sound familiar? It's like, oh, he's just telling me to just work the plan while I'm on vacation, right? That's it. Splurge at the spa. Hey, there we go. We'll add the last one in. So splurge, book yourself a massage, take time to decompress and relax. A good time to use a spa after a full day, like traveling, maybe when you come back. That's been one of my splurges, although I've trying to look for a new massage person because I was a little disappointed, but it really is weird because in the beginning I said, like, I just go like every once in a while. That's an expense. It's not, it's an investment for me. And then you think about this, if you want to avoid, if you start working out harder and you start being more active, you might want to look into getting, I know like Massage Envy, and there's other companies and stuff that have like good programs where you can incorporate that and get a good massage. It's definitely worth the investment. We always think about all the stuff we spend money and invest money in, like stocks. Nobody wants to talk about those right now. The stock market and my 401k and my kids' education and the new roof we need and the new appliances in your house and all the stuff and the $5,000 vacation. Invest a few $100 to get a massage every once in a while. It's going to be worth it. It'll be very much worth it. It's helped me level up my fitness. And do that on a vacation. Go and, you go on your next vacation and make that part of your plan. Maybe even make it a reward for yourself when you come back because you did X, Y, and Z and you held these non-negotiables for yourself. That could be a great way to treat. I'm all about rewarding. I'm all about having rewards. For me, for you guys, a reward for me on Fridays is to see you guys sharing your wins. Like for me as a coach, and I know for Lynette and my team, like one of my rewards is to see you guys win more. Like this is not about like, hey, just come in and maybe this is about you guys winning, fully winning, like getting the weight off, doing the things you want to do, enjoy vacation, have this framework, like come back in birthday and say, I enjoyed my birthday and I lost 2 pounds. How the heck? Holidays. So I'm going to give you this. Oops. Let me resume share. All right. So holidays. Here's one of my, if you haven't been through the holidays with me, our students lose weight through the holidays. How? Now, again, I can't say that in Christmas because that's where I really got stuck beforehand. But I do know for the majority of you guys over the holidays, and even now we have like the summer, Memorial Day weekend, and like now 4th of July weekend that's coming up. Think about the framework that you learned here for travel mode and apply that into holidays. Think about that. It's the same kind of framework, whether you're traveling or not. If you have, say, it's like, so we're going to be out of town. It's kind of funny because my son's birthday is on 4th of July. And it's the first time we'll be away from him because they decided they didn't want to go with us because we invited them. So they'll be here. My son and daughter will be here. Maybe I need to have a chaperone at the house. I don't know. But he'll be 19 on 4th of July. But usually 4th of July is a big celebration, birthday, fireworks here in Florida. It's like bombs, rocks, all that stuff. There's always celebration, but there's always an invitation to do it excessively more, like excess, to relax more, to eat more. And then the next thing you know, you feel bad. And then the next thing comes, the Monday comes and you don't want to check in because you went off track, and then you feel guilty, feel bad about yourself. Next thing you know, you're not doing the plan that's now moving forward, whether you like it or not. The plan is moving forward and you missed another couple of days. And then that's not what we want for you. We want you to win. We want you to be able to enjoy 4th of July and summertime and enjoying your family. But here's what I'm going to finish with for tonight. This is a big, now forget the travel. We already got that. Lynette crushed it. I gave you a little to go. I'm going to have that. You can print those off. Here's another aha moment that I think if you guys can get this, and this has to do with travel and has to do with this program, losing weight, getting in shape. And this was an aha moment for me. And I had to do it with some of you guys as well. You have to learn how to say no. That's it. You want to know the secret to this? It isn't getting the eggs instead of the Snickers bar. It's not having the gym to go to. It's not, do you know what the secret is? Saying no. If you can here's what I found, all of you guys, the underlying challenge for the majority, I would say 99.9% of you is, and myself included, like I'm jumping in the boat with you guys here, is your ability to say no. And I say that, like, forget the non-negotiable, saying no to when somebody says, oh, honey, you should just have a drink and come out with us and have fun. No. You don't have to explain why. It's your path. It's your plan. It's your body. It's your life. It's your decision. No, if you don't like it, Lynette cracked corn and I don't care. I said that to you earlier. Like, when we had a pastor who was like, he's really evangelical pastor. And he'd say, Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to preach the gospel. He was pretty hardcore, but it's the same thing. You're on this path and this plan. This is your life, whether you have a spouse that's with you or not, or that's for you or not, or family members, or a workplace environment that's really stressful and crappy. If you can get this now, don't say no to everybody, and you can't shut everybody out of your life. But I can tell you in all areas of my life for the success, and I'm going to tell you guys this is outside of the scope of coaching, say for weight loss. But I would say when you start to say no, when you start to learn how to say no, you can start saying yes to you. You can start to say yes to, I can do this. You start to maybe some of you guys need to just stop saying no to yourself. No, I can't do this. I'm just too busy. I just don't, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, that's why you're here, to learn. It might take you a little longer. So what? My family, my kids need me. No. Okay, if it's getting in the way of you living your life, it may be time to start saying no. And here's the hard thing, because we're all we're used to saying yes. We're, as parents or as kids, now we have family members, maybe parents. One of the hardest things for me is to actually say no to my parents about certain things because we don't line up in certain ways. Now, it's not being selfish. In fact, it's actually, I believe, being one of the most selfless things you can do is when you actually say yes to you. Hear me out for this. It's kind of going on that mask illustration. You get on a plane, if you're traveling, you get on a plane, and the woman comes out with a band and the mask, and she's showing you how to put it on. She's showing you how to put it on you first. So again, it's one of the most selfless things that I think you can do is actually be the best you can be by saying yes to you more so that everybody else wins. Everybody. I love the fact that Jennifer shared last week about her husband doing yoga and walking with her. That's such a great win, right? Because I know how far that came from and where that came. Or from Terry, you know, who literally like a month or two ago rolled the four-wheeler and was in pretty bad shape, and she's here tonight showing up, right? Like, she's saying yes to her. She's saying yes to showing up and being here. And this program, whether you follow it 100% or you follow it 10%, the only thing you need to start doing if you really want to succeed is just saying yes to you, because the only challenges all of you guys are having, regardless of the circumstances, it's when you're not saying yes to you. And then, or you can say, well, you know, I don't know what to do like this. You can start to make excuses, but it's, you have to start saying yes to you. Yes, I want to lose weight. Yes, I want to go on vacation, but I don't want to take the weight back off that I just worked so hard for 2 weeks before taking it off. And I don't want to go back. Yes, I love the way my body feels when I move more. Yes, I'm going to eat healthier because I know that's going to serve my body. I'm going to sleep better. Yes, I'm going to exercise because yes, I'm going to take the time out, regardless of what my family wants to do today, because I know that I'm going to have more energy if I'm consistent and I have that as a commitment that I've made to myself. See, when you say yes to you, you're saying yes to the commitments that you made to yourself. That's it. Like, does that make sense? I hope it does. And I just, you know, I just want to let you guys know, and this is, you know, my superpower is, and there's a lot of things I suck at, but my superpower is an encourager. Like, I can tell you, if you can just start to encourage yourselves, and here's how to do it. You know how I get the encouragement to encourage you guys? I get it by encouraging you guys. Be an encourager to others, and I guarantee you that that's going to, and you might, and I'm not saying be a doer to everybody. Don't do everything for everybody. I'm talking just encourage, like be an encourager in this group. I love some of you guys that just embraced in the wins and in the group and sharing and stuff. You guys are encouraging and lifting up. That's what's going to help. Why I'm good at that is I really like helping people. I don't want to see any of you lose. Well, I do. I want to see you lose weight, right? So I don't want you guys to, but I don't want you to lose the battle that you're going to say yes to everybody else, saying yes to everyone else's needs, saying yes to all things. When you start to say yes to you more, you stop saying yes to everybody else, you start saying no, you realize you have more capacity to do the things that you need to do, so that then in turn you can actually do more for your family. You can do more in your workplace. Like, think about this. If you have more energy, if you're feeling better about yourself, if you have more confidence, if you're looking good, hey, let's just go here for a minute. Aesthetics, like looking better, like, just so you know, if you're feeling like I'm feeling a little guilty, especially if you're a woman, a man of faith, and you're like, well, I shouldn't really be so concerned about my body. That I'm here to tell you, like, that's another thing. Yes, you should. Does it mean you have to have all the six pack? No, but you should be realizing that God developed one of you so that you can actually be a part of your life and live it well. There's nothing wrong with living it well. There's nothing wrong than being confident in your body with clothes, in a bathing suit, naked, right? Like, God would love, like, he loves you no matter what. But can you imagine getting up in the mirror and just being comfortable, completely naked? None of us are, right? I'm still not, like, still that, but just to know that regardless of that, you think if you say yes to you and you start feeling more confident and you have more energy and you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling like everybody is going to win. You're going to be more tolerant of your kids. You're going to have more patience with your parents, right? Like, one of the biggest things I can tell you pursuing this fit life, if you will, and helping others, is helping me realize how valuable it is for all of my loved ones, aside from my faith in God, is my wife is next for me. This is me. My wife is next, and my kids. And the most valuable thing I think I can give to them, aside from helping to hope point them to God, that's just my pursuit, whether you have faith or not, is to also point them in a direction of good health, right? If they can handle stress better. Look, like all of us are come out of COVID, right? Like we're kind of pretty much out of it now. We're able to travel and you don't have to put a mask on, all that kind of stuff, right? Regardless of where you fall in any of that. But there's going to be people in the last 2 years that, as far as did nothing, they sat, they didn't get around a community, they didn't take care of themselves. They were at home while I was on lockdown. I didn't have a job. I didn't do this and that. And I'm not saying this to put us versus them, but you're going to see the repercussions of people happening now, magnitudes of anxiety, depression, suicide, all those things. And I have all of that in my family. And I have all of that very prevalent. And maybe some of you guys, I know you've shared, but all of those things taken into consideration, think about all the issues and problems, anger, people angry, frustrated, isolated. We're not meant to be isolated. We're not meant to have all of those things to the level that they are now. I think stress is normal, right? We have cortisol, it's normal. We have more stress. What does that do? It causes our cortisol levels to go way higher. I'm going to give this to you too. This is a little sneak. This is actually 12 foods you want to eat to get a flat stomach. And actually I'm doing some of that next week. So hang tight with that. But just so you know, when the stress adds up from all of those things, it means a couple of things. It means you're not handling it well. You're probably not taking care of yourself well. You're probably taking care of everybody else. You may be scrambling, stressed, all those things. It's going to lead down a road that's not going to serve you or your family or your kids, your grandchildren, your parents. You're taking care of your loved ones that are older, like me, sort of, my wife. You're not going to be able to fully take care of them to the level you need to. So again, it comes back down to, while we're talking about here, traveling, because you might be traveling to your family members, but don't think for a minute you shouldn't take the time out to take care of you. That again, you have that ability. And I think sometimes the biggest thing that stands in the way is that you're too used to saying yes to everybody else but yourself. So that could be something, as just to kind of finish it off for tonight, is to realize that. So how do I start? How do I start? The easiest place you can start is by saying yes to you more. Think about that. We talk about habits. You can't really break habits. You got to start to develop new habits. Well, instead of saying, no, I can't do this. No, I can't track my food. No, I can't meal prep. No, I can't do the pictures. No, I can't show up on Tuesday night. No, I'm not going to do the goal setting. No. When you start saying yes to one thing, yes, I'm going to check in with Lynette. Yes, I'm going to go on a live Q&A with Joanne. Yes, I'm going to walk today, even though I really don't want to. I know it's going to help me. Yes, you start to say yes, you stack those wins, you yes more, everybody wins. Because when you win, then everybody wins. So I'm going to just finish that. You guys did awesome. I know a couple of you guys had to leave. And with that, I think we all had to head out. You guys are good to go. Appreciate you, all of you guys, Joyce and Terry, Jennifer, and everybody else that was on, Jeff, Joanne, Lynette, and Lynette, great job too, by the way. You did awesome. And yeah, again, and if you have, so those, now, and if you're listening to Facebook, there's so many ways to connect with us now. You need to be checking in with myself as well as Lynette or Joanne, whoever's schedule you're on. We have live Q&As now. Lynette's on Thursdays, Joanne's on Saturdays. Just so you know, it's in the schedule for what's in the Facebook group. I'm working on an advanced group. We have some new things coming down the pipelines for you guys that are brand new, and having like a boot camp, and it's going to be an accountability boot camp. So, it's just checking in. It's on you, not me. Again, that's going to be getting set up. Really excited for those things. But ultimately, in order for any of those to work, whether it's traveling and staying on track, whether it's getting this program dialed in well, it really starts with saying yes to you more. Start to say yes to you more. And it feels really good when you can actually start to say yes to you more. And then you start to see you showing up more. And then you start to see the body reveal more, and you start to say yes. And then you start to feel good when you get up and you have a good night's sleep and you wake up and you say yes. And then you start and you show up on Tuesday night and you get to celebrate your win, or on a Friday and you saw the scale drop and you say, yes. And then you went away on vacation, you had a cookie with raspberry on it and you didn't end up gaining any weight and you said, yes. Or you didn't lose weight, you really ate healthy, you did all the workouts for 2 weeks straight and you didn't lose a pound, and you're going to say yes, because the scale is not going to define me, because I'm making all of these habits better, and sooner, maybe, and take a little longer, I'm going to see that scale change. But the scale isn't going to be what's powering over me. The scale is not my Lord. Like, that's what you got to realize. So anyway, enough of my rant. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. And I'll tell you what, when you get done, if you can, in the Facebook group, from Lynette, from travel, from what we shared, I'll post today or tomorrow morning. If I can't post it tonight, I'll post it tomorrow. The travel checklist, so you have that. But I'd love for you to drop what was your big takeaway from tonight's training. And thank you so much, Lynette. Awesome job tonight. Appreciate you. And thank you guys, the rest of you guys. Have an awesome, awesome evening. And let's crush the rest of the week. Let's do it. We'll see you.